Hey guys, how's it going? My name is Brendan and welcome back to the channel. If you guys are new here, it is great to have you, and what a week it has been for Bitcoin. Now, as of today, Bitcoin is topped out just below $24,000, and if you guys remember from a couple of days ago, Bitcoin was hard stuck below 19,000, which was the previous all-time high. But with Bitcoin absolutely blowing through that, I think it's time to do some much needed technical analysis on where Bitcoin can realistically go from here. So if that sounds important or fun at all, make sure you guys stick around for the entire length of the video, as there will be important information discussed the entire way through. But that being said, let's go ahead and dive on into this one, because there is a lot of information to go over, because we haven't made a video covering this in really a couple days now. And of course, a lot of price action has happened since then. So with Bitcoin really blowing off the top here, we're going to be looking at the 4-hour chart as we do on most of our videos. But on this 4-hour chart, I think we can very clearly see that Bitcoin has tested this 3 separate macro swing highs to the resistance side of this. Now, our first one being over in here, our second one being right in here, and then our most recent one being right over in here just a couple of days ago, where Bitcoin is actually able to break through with phenomenal volume and phenomenal buying pressure. But now that Bitcoin is above this area, it really doesn't have any more technical resistance. Now, when I say technical resistance, I do not mean Bitcoin has no more resistance moving forward, because there is going to be psychological areas or psychological levels of resistance that we are yet to touch and have not touched so far. Some examples of these are going to be like $250,000, $25,000, $50,000, maybe even $100,000. There are going to be significant resistance areas that we are going to have to test, but we have not tested before. And so that's how psychological resistance plays in here. But with Bitcoin going all the way up to nearly $24,000 today, we saw almost like a tweezer double top action where we hit this level, immediately started seeing some sell-off, came back up, retested this level once again, and I want to zoom in on this on a 1-hour chart so we can see this just a little bit clearer. And in fact, we can see that we actually tested this level several different times on the 1-hour time scale. So our first one just probably about 12 hours ago, and then again just a couple of hours previously, and then right after that we came back down, dipped over here. Let me go ahead and erase this. Came back down, got bought back up extremely fast. I remember watching this, and then only to get rejected again. Now, we can see that there is very clear buying pressure over in here, but there's also some resistance up here just below $24,000. So it's kind of one of those unique scenarios where we have a lot of buying pressure, a lot of selling pressure all in this area. But again, it does look like we might hold this area for the time being. I think that if Bitcoin wants to break $22,300, then I think the next support would be at about 21,600, 21,700, which is where the 50 EMA is going to be on this 1-hour time scale. But for the most part here, I want to talk about the projections to the upside, as there are a couple of the ones to the downside. But let's go ahead and talk about the bullish case scenario for Bitcoin first, since we are obviously in a very strong bull market and in a very long bull uptrend. So with my immediate price targets here, immediately I am looking at $25,000. And if we want to measure that from where we're at right now, getting us to $25,000 will be almost another 10% to the upside from where we are currently sitting, which is going to end up being about 9.5%. So that in and of itself is still, really, really good potential. But I think a lot of people have their eyes set on another number that I have talked about religiously since I have had a, pretty long-term price prediction for Bitcoin, and that is give or take around $1,000 from that $30,000 mark. So I think really anywhere between 29 and 31,000, I think is going to be one of the real test points that Bitcoin is going to have to go through if before it sees any kind of crazy action, before it sees any kind of crazy pullback. So if we want to measure from where we're at right now to that, relative $30,000 area, we'll just say 30,000, give or take a little bit, that'll be another 31.33% to the upside. Now, obviously those numbers are great. We love to look at them, but I don't want to encourage too much FOMO here. And again, while there is no technical resistance really left, there is still psychological resistance, which is what we're seeing below this $25,000 area. And it's actually, my firm belief that if we break this 23.7, 23.8 area, we're immediately going to go, let's go ahead and draw this out actually. We're immediately going to go, if we zoom in here, from where we're at right now, maybe we break through here, go right up to about 25,000. Maybe we come back, retest the previous high, what was formerly resistance, now turned support, and then I think we could really rocket to the upside from there. So if I had to kind of plan out any kind of a textbook way that Bitcoin could go from here, this is what I would be looking for. Now, again, the volume has been phenomenal over the last couple of days here. Really since the 16th, which is where we started seeing this volume ramp up, and since then it has stayed pretty well for the most part. So if we want to look at some of the indicators and oscillators over here, I think that these are not telling us a whole lot, because on the 1 hour we are seeing that the bears are getting a little bit exhausted, but again, that's nothing that we can't see from our candle chart over here, because we can see the buying wicks coming in. Again, it's not kind of a say all or a catch all. But over here we're seeing the exact opposite reaction on the 4-hour chart, saying that the bulls are actually getting a little bit exhausted, and that the our RSI and our MACD are pointing to the downside. But again, we can see that these are retracing already from the candle chart itself. So I don't think that the MACD or the RSI is giving us any kind of crazy readings from here. Not on the 1 hour, not on the 4 hour, not on the 1 day. I really don't see too much happening from the indicators and oscillators right here. And in fact, I think the big players here are going to be the moving averages and just the technical levels that we have, former resistance, former support. Those are going to be the big areas, in my opinion, for where Bitcoin is going to kind of make its path towards both the upside and downside from here. Now, obviously there are a lot of different levels. If we want to talk about the downside, we did mention 22,400 to 22,200. That is going to be the previous bottom, where we are seeing this little bit of buying action in here. And below that, I think our really strong support is going to be that all-time high of $19,800 on Bitcoin. Now, something that is very possible, and I don't want to entirely throw out the window yet, is Bitcoin could very well come back down here, test this all-time high, which conveniently has the 50 EMA on this 4-hour time scale right on top of it. So it could come back down here, test this level, and then bounce really hard to the upside. Now, I say bounce, it would be more of a getting shorts out of the way than I guess a bounce. But I could definitely see this being a very, very strong level of support, because this was the all-time high for Bitcoin, not once, but twice. Again, we tested this back in, the end of 2017, and then, of course, we tested this for quite some time, almost a month this year, really just about a couple of days ago. We were in this area for quite some time now. So I think that this will be a very strong support if Bitcoin needs to get back down in there. And then even below that, you have the 200 EMA, as well as a whole bunch of other technical levels. So that's my thoughts on Bitcoin right now. Again, I think everyone has their sights set higher than 24,000. Now, if Bitcoin will realistically get above that, I think that it very, very well could. We're going to have to see how it reacts in this uncharted territory. We are already seeing some little small outages from Binance and Coinbase. Nothing too serious. They've already been, down and up, and this happens honestly quite a bit whenever Bitcoin's volatile. So it's nothing too crazy, nothing too much to note, but it will be kind of interesting to see where Bitcoin goes from here, as it does go into uncharted territory, hopefully above $24,000 in the not too distant future. So again, nothing I said is legal or financial advice or tax advice in any way, but I did hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you guys did, make sure to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and comment down below what your thoughts on Bitcoin are, because I love getting to hear what you guys have to say and interacting with you guys in the comment section below. So again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.